Hi everyone, and welcome to my Facebook Live. This is Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela, and I'm excited to be here with you today. So I'm just hoping that it's all going well and you can hear me, because I had a few technical issues to start with and it didn't set up like it usually does. So just waiting to see if anyone is online and if it's working okay. So can you let me know? I don't want to kind of keep going and then discover that it's not happening. So yeah, appreciate you joining me, and hopefully all is well. Okay, so today I'm going to share with you kind of part 2 of the Brushed with Beauty suite. So last week we mainly focused on the papers and the embossing folder, and today I'm going to be expanding that further using other things within the suite. We are going to be using the stamps and dies as well. So I'm excited to share some more things that are part of this wonderful suite. All right, so just trying to check to see if all is going well and that you can hear me. So I'll carry on and let's just hope for the best. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Okay, so you can see that this is part of the suite. All right. Thank you to those that have just joined me. Let me know if you can hear things. Setup today was rather challenging and I couldn't connect to Facebook. Finally managed to do that. Then the sound was different. So I'm hoping that you can hear me. So let me know where you're from. Please let me know if you can hear me okay. That would be great. So yeah, there was no scheduled notification ahead of time today because things just weren't quite cooperating. So please let me know. Can you hear me? All right. So please let me know. All right. So just putting that out there. So I'm going to quickly switch back to me. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Appreciate you joining me. Just wondering if you can hear me okay. Please let me know. Great. Excellent. The sound is good. Okay, cool. So sorry if you've just joined me. It is a little bit later. I started at 1:30, but technical issues and things. Initially wouldn't go to Facebook. Now it looks like it is Facebook and YouTube. So that's cool. And then the sound was different. So yay, you're here. So I'm Angela Palmer from Stamp with Angela, based in Auckland, New Zealand. And today I'm going to share with you the Brushed with Beauty suite. This is kind of part 2 of what I did last week. We looked at the papers and the embossing folder mostly last week. Now we're going to look at stamps and dies from this cool set. But I'm going to teach you a simple fun fold card. So no matter what you've got, you can have a go of this particular fold at home as well. All right. So let me show you what is part of this Brush with Beauty set. And then I'll show you the fun fold that we're going to do today as well. All right. So last week you would have seen some of the papers. Now I have used some of them. So they're not all here. Actually, looks like some of these are upside down. Let's flip it around. We've got colors like Basic Beige, Darling Duckling, Mossy Meadow, Lost Lagoon, Calypso Coral, Early Espresso, and another flowery pattern. I've kind of used it all up. And then on the other side, we've got more just sort of 1 or 2 colors, the Calypso Coral, the Basic Beige, which is very cool. There's a bit of Old Olive in there as well, and very vanilla, and a tiny bit of Secret Sea. All right. Excellent. I appreciate those of you that are joining me today. Looks like sound is working now, so that is cool. All right, so that's the papers. So you might have seen them last week if you watched last week. This was the embossing folder that we used last week as well. It's called the Beautiful Patterns. It's quite a subtle sort of pattern, but it's very cool. And these are the stamps and dies that are part of this suite. So we've got the Petals of Beauty stamp sets and dies. So these coordinate together. So you've got some that will cut out some of the images, and then you've got some extra ones as well, and I'll show you some of those in a minute. So that's all just images. And then we've got the Words of Beauty So this is the stamp set, so you can stamp some of the greetings and things, and then we've got some dies. So the dies will fit around, the longer, shorter, and then there's also these as well. So this week we're going to use some of both, and you may notice they are not in a DVD case. They are thinner, so this is the new packaging, a little bit taller as well. So this is what they used to come in, a little bit shorter. So this is the branching out dies, which are part of the branching out stamp set, which I shared a couple of weeks ago. I really like these dies. And the card that I'm going to do today is something that a team member, Sheila Morton, did for a team swap. So I loved her fold. And so I've cased the fold and used it with this particular set. So I will show you her card and things at the end as well. So I love it with my team. We do card swaps and things every now and again, like when a new catalog comes out. And it's great to see products that at the time I didn't have the branching out set, but I really liked it. So I got it. We teach each other different kind of folds or styles of cards, and also get to see different product, which is a great way of doing it. So the team swaps are awesome. One of the great things that you can do being part of my team. They're optional, so not everyone takes part. It's just up to you if you want to take part or not. All right, so let's get on to today's card. So some of the colors I'm going to use stamping wise are some Early Espresso, Mossy Meadow, Calypso Coral, Petal Pink, if you can read that, and then Darling Duckling for the middle of our flower. All right, so they're the colors we're going to be using. And we're going to start off with our card base, which is here. So it is a, a narrow card like this. So I will show you the cards so you can kind of see what we're aiming towards. So this is it here. So it kind of looks like a normal card to start with, and you could sort of, just make it like that. But the way it opens is like this, and then like this. Okay, so that's very cool. So this card design, as I said, was inspired by a team swap from my team member, Sheila. So thank you, Sheila. I'm not sure if you're on today. You probably get to watch this later. And I have used the branching out dies. If you don't have them, then you could just do the same kind of fold, but just do it rectangle, and that would look cool too. But I do like the branching out dies. Now, I will share the measurements and things at the end, but basically it's 10.5 centimeters width, and the length is, off the top of my head, like 25.3 or something. Scored at like 14.8, sorry. And that gives us a little bit at the front. All right, so what we're going to do, so it's going to go like this, and then we need to cut our branching out this little flat piece here. So there's a little trick to doing that. So that's what I will show you. And while we've got our machine, I will emboss too. Now I'm trying to find the piece that I've got ready to cut. And it has, of course, disappeared. So I'm going to use, just so you know, the second largest one. So if you have a look, it's that size there. And then for the inside piece, we're going to use those. So it's not the biggest, but the next two down that we are going to be using. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so what I've done here is I've cut a piece that is, where's my measurements? Where is it? 9 centimeters by 24, and then I've scored it in half at 12, and that should be nearly big enough for this. Okay, but there is a trick so we get that fold. So let me move these other things out the way and grab my machine, and I'll show you what we need to do to get this fold. All right, so I'm assuming everyone can still hear okay. Let's hope so. Okay. So when you put this on your machine, you want to have it hanging over slightly so that it's not going to cut that top piece off. Does that make sense? So I'm turning it over so you can see. So it'll be like this, and it'll be hanging over the edge. So when you look at the other side, it is not cutting through there. So let me put that on my machine. I'm going to have to, oops, there goes the plate. Lift up this a little bit so we can fit our machine in. You can see my mess a bit more now. All right, here we go. Okay, what I might do is do it this way so you can see. I am going to use a little bit of tape to hold it in place because I don't want it to move. All right, so also if you put it in straight, it's a lot of pressure on the roller, so I'm going to angle it slightly as well, as long as it fits on the plate. So lining it up like that, have it just hanging over the edge, hold it in place, make sure that it's fine on both sides, and put my plate on top and wind it through. And I'm going to turn it around so you can see it come out. So like I said, if you didn't have these dies, you can just cut yourself a little rectangle and have the fold in it. All right, just so this is some removable tape. And now it opens like this. Okay, while my machine is here, I am going to emboss with the beautiful patterns embossing folder. So I'm changing my plates. I'm having a 1. I'm going to put my embossing folder down. So I'm going to put this inside, and then I'm going to put my specialty plate in number 4 on top and put that through. See it come out. Oops, shaking everything. Right, let's move that out the way. We do have a little bit of die cutting to do later, but that's okay. All right, let's come back down a bit, try and straighten things up a bit. Okay. All right, so there is our emboss piece, and here is our little folder thing. So remember the way it opens, our fold is actually going to be on the right-hand side. And I have already cut a piece to go on the inside, which is in basic white, and a piece to go on the front in basic beige. And you'll see why later that I've chosen basic beige. So I'm going to get my card base back again and adhere those pieces. I need more space to work here because let's just straighten things up. Where did I put the card base that I just had? So we have that. Where is it? I showed it to you before and gave you the measurement, so it's got to be here. Okay. Did it fall on the floor? Okay, so that's my card. I am so sorry. I just had it. How can it disappear? Is it under my machine? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere that on to the back piece and decorate it. Okay. All right. Sorry, I cannot. I'm just going to straighten things up, move more things out of the way. Okay, I might have to cut another one. This is very strange. I had it with my plates, showed it to you, and now it has gone. So I'm going to get another piece and cut it again, and then it will reappear. I know. 1 second. Okay, and now an espresso that's long. All right, we're going to improvise and do basic beige. Okay, so I showed you my card base. Here it is, found it. Okay, it was under the dies. So sorry about that. So we're going to adhere our embossed piece in here like so. Then we have got a piece from the front here, which is, I'll give you the measurements later, but basically 10 by 10, and then our designer series paper, which is 9.5 by 9.5. So we are going to adhere those for our card base. All right, so you can use tape or glue, totally up to you. All right, here we go. And adhere this one down. I decided to make it a square, then it didn't matter which way it went. You would get it correct. And then just look at the paper and decide if there is a right way up. So looking at those, I feel that is the right way. Okay, so that is our kind of card base part. Nice and easy. Then we are going to put our special flap onto it. So if you don't have this, just cut a rectangle, probably about, I don't know, 8 by 12 or 8 by 11, something like that. So what we need to do is make sure we adhere it into the base like so. Then this will close, and then you can just, adjust it slightly to make sure it looks fairly centered and happy, that you're happy with it. All right, so I'm going to put glue on the back. I'm going to sort of center it as best as I think. We've got a little bit of time to work, do that, and then have a look and make sure you're happy, and that looks great. I'm happy with that. Now the main part of our card is this nice front piece here. So with the dies, we have these ones here just because. So you will see, I've just used the because I thought, it might be too busy otherwise. So you've got a background piece like so, which is like the shadow, and then this here for the forefront. Now I've pre-done that just to save, and actually that's not, what is it? Oh, this one here, sorry, this cuts out if you stamp it. This is the die cut that will go inside. So as you can see, I've already done it, and I put on the back some adhesive sheet. Okay, so that will make it easier. I'll just peel it off, and I've also got the because. Have I cut that somewhere? Here. So that's going to go on. No, I've cut the wrong one. Have I? What did I do there? I've done it differently. So I didn't actually realize, but this one here is quite a bit wider. This is just a little bit of a border. So let's go with that because we can see. So there's actually 3 different ones. So depending on, I would say this is more, you stamp it and then cut it out and then do that. So it's just a light shadow. So let's do it so we can see the difference. I hadn't even quite realized. So we'll go with this one. So I'm going to peel this off. I'm just going to get it started. Take your pick tool is good, except I've got the wrong layer. There we go. Pull that off gently. And then we are going to just start one letter at a time. So this just, there's a slight shadow on it. How about that? Just because. Now, if this was on white, you wouldn't really notice it. So that is why I went on the basic page. Let's do our stamping, and then we'll decorate the front and also the inside. Now, I'm hoping that you can still hear me okay. I don't see any more comments and things, so I hope that it's still working okay. Let me know if you're still there, because I saw a couple of comments in the beginning and then nothing for a while. So let's hope you're all still there. I'm going to use my paper piercing mat, so I've got something to stamp on, and we're going to do some two-step stamping. So with these stamps, there are two. So we've got one here which is more detailed, and then one that's more solid. The same with this big one, detailed and solid. So you're going to do the detailed one in a darker color and the solid one in a lighter color. Now I'm just going to use one ink pad, and I'm going to stamp off. So two-step stamping, because to make our flower we need the two steps. One is our detailed, two is our solid. So let's do that and see what it looks like. So for my smaller ones, I'm going to use the darker color Calypso Coral. Now, if you look at the stamp, there's a little bit that kind of pokes to the left. So this is the detailed one. And then this is the solid one, except we turn it around. So now they're kind of poking out that bits to the left, so they should line up. Now just check that they are clean and no hairs and things on it, because I did stamp one earlier and it didn't stamp so well. So that is full strength. And I want two of those. Then I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to stamp off. So stamp somewhere else first. Then I'm going to line it up. You might need to adjust it, twist it slightly, go over the top. And it gives you that lighter color. If it's not perfect, don't worry. Re-ink it, stamp off, then go over the top. Like so. And then you can see the two colors. You would think that's two ink pads, but it's this one ink pad, just full strength and then stamped off, and then it's a lighter color. So we have two of those big ones. We'll do our centers shortly. Then I'm going to do one of the big one in petal pink. Oh, great. I'm glad to hear that people are still here. Excellent. Yay. So we've got, that is our detailed one, and that is our solid one. So if you have a look at those, I'm not sure how easily you can see. There's that one that's poking sort of to the right. So we're going to start full strength with the detailed one, and then stamp off with the other one. This one's probably actually easier to see because it's bigger. Now that looks amazing, doesn't it? To finish it off, we need to stamp in the center, and I'm going to use Darling Duckling because that is one of the colors from the papers. I don't think there's any right sort of way, just in the center. Overlaps a bit, but that's all good. Here we are, our flowers. And then I need to stamp a leaf. So for that, I'm going to use Mossy Meadow. I'm also going to stamp off. I'm actually doing this one the reverse. So this is my solid one first, like so, and then my detailed one, full strength, and I'm just going to line it up because this one I can actually see. All right, like that. Now I've done a bit of spacing around it so that when I put the dies on, I can, fit a few on. So here's that bit that kind of points up. So that will go like so. And if I've got a bit of tape, I'll tape it down. Here is my little one. There's that little bit that sort of pokes out. So that will go there. And thankfully, they are not too close. And for the leaf, actually here is this. So we'll take this down. And the leaf die. is, I've got this one, but that's a different die. So let me have a look. Is it still in the case? It's not. Anyway, there is a die to cut that one out too. Here it is. Like so. So I would put those through my machine and cut them out. The other thing I need to stamp and die cut is my sentiment. And I need a long, thin one for that. Do I have a long, thin piece of cardstock? Not too thin. So here we go. So I'm going to use Early Espresso for this. And stamp It's Your Birthday. Now it's quite a long stamp, so I'm going to push in the middle too. There we go. And then there is a die to cut this out. So line it up, adhere it. So then I'd go put all of those through my machine, and I'll show you what they come out like. All right. So here is our big one. Here is our smaller one. And our leaf. Now I might need to cut the happy birthday, and I still need to die cut one of the little ones. So we'll do that together. And then we can decorate our card. Now what I'm doing is I'm actually putting my dies and things into a little container here so that I'm not losing them, because I'm, continuing to use them. And then I like to put them on my sheets. And I haven't yet, but I do like to put a magnetic sheet down, and then that holds them in place. All right, so let's die cut the last two. So I need my 1 plate. I need my 2 plate. I need a 3 plate. Then my die cuts. And then another 3 plate on top. So I'll line up the dies. So you could decorate, do this design, whatever papers you like, and add, whatever die cut punched out shapes and things you like. But I'm enjoying using this lovely Brushed with Beauty suite and the Petals of Beauty images here and that one. Okay, now we should have enough. All right, close my container so I don't lose them. Now to decorating our card. So these are the bits I've used. Let me show you what I did before. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Sorry, I keep knocking my camera. There we are. So we've got this piece here. And I'm going to, you could hear it onto here, but I'm going to put onto here. So if it goes over the edges, I make sure it doesn't go over the top of the card. So it fits in the envelope and things okay. So let's glue this down. Now, if you look at these, if you feel it and it's kind of rougher, that is the wrong side. And it should be smoother on the right side when you've got that stitched look on it. So let's sort of have a look to see how we're going to place these, which way they go as well. And I'm going to use dimensionals. Put this here. And then I'll add my because as well. Hopefully I haven't lost that one either. Here it is. It's going to look slightly different. Why are we just not very straight today? Let's just, oops, adjust my tripod maybe. Okay, I think that's a little bit better. Okay, so dimensionals. I'm going to start with my bigger one first. I'm just going to put it in the center so that I can, tuck things under or whatever I need to do. So sort of about there. And one on this side. So I am going to sort of tuck it under a bit like so. Then we'll put one on the other side, and I'm going to overlap that one. Which way do you think? Maybe like that. I'm doing it a bit lower because I want to tuck in some leaves as well. So maybe even bring it down a little bit more. So it's fine hanging over the edge of this as long as it doesn't hang over the edge of the card. And tuck it under too, sort of like so. And then our because. Now this is going to be harder to put on because it doesn't have all the white behind it. So that's the only disadvantage of this. So I'm going to put this one down first. I'm actually going to use some of this on the edge here. Just going to get a whole line of it. Oops, it's broken off. Okay. We'll just use some of them then. And then we can see where our because will go. How's that? Yep. All right. So about it's your birthday because it's your birthday. So we want like that. So I'm going to get my scissors and make some of these very narrow so that I can put them on certain letters. So I've made it slightly more challenging by using the narrow one. But that's okay. We're not going to put it on every one, just some. So we can put like quite a big one there. Oh, that's pretty easy. We'll just do half or mini ones if you had mini ones. I just don't want them poking out the side. So we don't have to do all of them. We just probably need to do the ends. So cutting them and then nice thin pieces, maybe there and there. The top part of our B as well. Where's some more thin ones? All right. So it's interesting how, you know, you do something different or wrong, but you can improvise and make it work. So I didn't realize, that I die cut a different one this time, but that's okay. We can make it work. Let's just cut a couple up here. So I want some support in the middle. All right, and nearly there. So do you like the flowers and the two-step stamping? Isn't it cool how it looks like different colors? And I'm just going to use my Take Your Pick tool to lift off the back layer. Like so. There we go. Right, I think they're all off. And then we're going to put that in but slightly more to the left because it's a bit emptier there. All right, there we go. Because it's your birthday. So it opens like that and like that. Very nice. Now to finish it off, I stamped inside the card and I did these little flowers. So we're going to do that before we adhere it. In case we mess it up, then we could usually turn it over, although that'll be that rough edge, which is not so good. We could die cut another piece and have another turn. All right, so we are going to go with Calypso Coral. And I'm going to do the detailed one first again. And kind of like that. And then I'm going to turn it around like so. Then because I'm two-step stamping, I'm going to stamp off. And I'm going to line it up. Oops, did I stamp off? I don't think I did. Did I? That's a bit lighter. There we go. And then I can put that inside my card. Then to finish it off, we are going to just add some embellishments. So there are embellishments that go with the suite, the Pearls of Beauty. And the colours are Calypso Coral, Basic Beige, and White. So I haven't used much of the white. Obviously, if I have Calypso Coral there, it's going to get a bit lost. You won't see it. So I'm going to go more for the white. All right. That is if I can find them. All right. Here they are. So this is what they look like. So you've got the white, Calypso Coral, and Basic Beige. So on this one, often I'll do a triangle, but it's very, there's a lot on there. I could do two here and one over here. But for this one, I've done that. Let's do something different this time. I'll use the white again, but I'll do a bit more of a triangular pattern. So we'll do one there. We'll use a small, like so. And maybe we'll put one over here. How's that? It's a slightly different arrangement for this card. Right, let me move all my other bits out of the way. So we got there in the end. A few technical issues and also losing the main card base at one point as well. But we got there, yay. All right, so this was the card I originally made. And then this is the one that we've done on the live. So a couple of slight differences. The coloring's all the same. I've arranged the embellishments slightly differently. I have done that. For this one, I used a very solid background behind it. With this one, it's just a delicate edging on it. So, yeah, which one do you prefer? All right, so let me show you where this inspiration came from. So like I said earlier, as part of a card swap with my team, we do it sort of when a new catalogue comes out for those that want to. It's optional. This is the card that Sheila Morton made. So it's using the branching out set. So remember I showed you those dies, but she used the stamp set as well. So isn't this cool? It's beautiful. And she's even got the little pine cones on it. So like this and like this. Okay. So you can see the layout is the same, but colors and the stamp set are quite different. I was thinking, oh, what DSP she's used, but she's actually created her own paper with that to put there by using the stamps, which I thought was a really clever idea. And she's used the birchwood embossing folder, which works well because it's obviously to do with branches and things. But isn't that really cool? So thank you, Sheila, for being part of our team swap and making this card. And that inspired me to make my card, which is the Brushed with Beauty set. Brushed with Beauty? Yes. Cool. All right. So there we are. So that's today's cards. The camera doesn't seem to want to line up today. Thank you. I just want to say both cards are beautiful. Yes. And so is Sheila. So that's really cool. I'll share some measurements and things in a little bit. So keep an eye out for that. If you missed my live last week, I'll show you what we did so you can see other ways to use this paper as well. So last week similar colors, the Calypso Coral. That's with different paper. And then I also did one with the Darling Duckling. So that's a sketch. And I've shared the sketch. You can check out my blog. You can check out Facebook. And you can see the measurements for that and give it a go. It's just, a simple way to make a card design. And some of my team have also done some really cool cards using this particular thing. They've used the Traditions of Christmas set. They've used other papers as well. So that's great to see. And then I also shared this last week, the fun fold card that I did as part of my class last month. It's kind of an easel card and it stands up like so. And then you write your message on the back. So that was designed by Susan Campfield. And that's in the Calypso Coral or the Mossy Meadow too. And you can see the embossed background there as well. So it stands up like so. And then on the back is your message. So I did do the stamp there. Awesome. All right. So despite a few technical issues, I think we did manage to go to both Facebook and YouTube, which was great. It was a bit challenging in the beginning, but we got there. So I'm loving the Beauty Brushed with Beauty suite. Just a reminder, so the stamps that I used are the Petals of Beauty, and there's dies to cut out those, as well as extra dies that you can use. And the stamp set is the Words of Beauty dies. And then you've got the stamps and dies for that too. Along with the awesome paper, the embellishments, and the embossing folder. Where is the embossing folder? Probably next to, here it is, the embossing folder. And then this is not part of the suite, but this is the branching out dies that I use for that extra little flap. So why don't you give this particular card design let me try that again. Why don't you give this particular fun fold card a try? and have a go and see, decorate it with what things that you've got. And then obviously if you're interested in this particular suite, reach out to me as well. So if you're not on my mailing list, I encourage you to sign up. And you'll get, exclusive information, tutorials, all sorts of things like that too. My 12 weeks of Christmas for today will be going out in the next couple of hours. So if you haven't signed up yet, you will we're up to week 7. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you've got, we're sort of halfway through. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up for that and you'll get some free tutorials and ideas as well. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you've got any questions or any ideas of things that you'd like me to cover, let me know and I might be able to do those in a live. Otherwise, reach out to me if you'd like to order or got questions. And we will see you again soon. Thanks so much. See you. Bye.